Here she is. She made us late. Hey everyone, I'm Lachelle, also known as Shell, and this is my friend Sarah.
Also known as Sarah. Sarah of Beckett.
So today we just, it's our first live and wanted to just introduce ourselves. Again, I'm Lachelle with an L, and I've been a reseller for over 20 years. I was a part-time reseller for most of that. I did have a full-time job and 2 children. So now I'm a full-time reseller. Back in 2018, decided to go full-time, had enough of the control that other people had in my livelihood, so chose to do it this way. I pay my bills most of the time. But you know what? I make my own schedule. I love it. Sarah, how did you get started in this?
Well, I was at the Goodwill one day in Pittsfield, just shopping for myself for no apparent reason, because I must have needed something, and I see this shopping cart moving along. It looked like under its own speed, until I realized under all that stuff, it was Lachelle. And I said, "What are you doing with all that stuff?" And she said, "I'm an eBay reseller." I'm like, "Oh." So that's how we met, shopping, and we're still shopping today. So then Lachelle gave me the basics on how to set up eBay, and I just went in and pushed all the buttons until something worked right.
And 3 years later, she's still asking questions. But you know what? We bounce off each other all the time. We work really well together. Yeah, we haven't missed a step since we met at the Goodwill.
Nope. And there's a lot of information to learn. What I started in 2020, right before COVID in the summer, and there's just so many little nuances in eBay and any platform really. And thank God she has enough information stored in her World Book of Encyclopedia / eBay files.
If you do something repetitively, you learn it. Over time.
Yeah, that's the only thing. And so I put up 2 things and sold them within 2 days, and I was off and running.
And we actually, a lot of times I'll be out thrifting or, shopping for my therapy. And there's items that I'm not really versed in. Artwork, for one. Sarah's really good at artwork, so I look to her for information. So I'll send her the picture of the item, whoever did the painting, and she'll quickly research it, and she'll have answers for me in like a minute, maybe less.
While she's standing there.
Yeah, while I'm standing there waiting.
Buy it or don't buy it.
Yeah, and it's really worked out well.
But I always tell people that say, "Oh, I can't do it. What would I do?" I'm like, look, buy what you like. If you like it, my mantra is, if you buy it and you like it, it may sit on your shelf for a year. It may be 6 months, it may be 20 minutes. But if you like that item, get it, because it'll make you happy, and then you can always put it up on eBay, and you just only have to remember where you put it when you sell it.
It's funny. One day we were at the Goodwill, and I found a jelly cat, and it was a white and black striped tiger, and I think it was like $1.99. And I have a great picture of Sarah holding this, and I sold it for what, $175, $225. Like it was
something
crazy pants. So this is something Sarah would never pick up. Now she'll look for them. Because,
rarely do I do. I leave that to Lachelle. She's got garbage bags full of plush toys.
I do,
and I don't.
But
she gave me a category that I knew nothing about, and so I venture into it sometimes, but not a lot. My thing is dishes and hardware, stuff in your house, because I'm really graphic minded. What I see, I like. I don't care if it's made in Japan or China, which most stuff is, but if the graphics on it fly, then I'm going to get it, because it makes me happy.
There's somebody at my front door, and I really hate to do this, but I'm going to run to see it, but I'm going to leave Sarah. I'm sorry. I'm going to leave Sarah here with you for a moment.
Oh my goodness.
Tell the stories.
What other stories?
You have stories.
Okay, so we just continue we talk every day, multiple times a day, comparing notes, comparing purchases, still looking up information all the time. So there's a world of tabs and sites online that you can check. And Google Lens is one. You see everybody at Goodwill or yard sales taking pictures. We always ask permission at yard sales if we can take pictures before we look things up. And then you decide. Lachelle is very versed in checking things on eBay regarding sold prices, and you'll see that a lot. You see it with the Crazy Lamp Lady. If she's looking for, she sees the price, say a $4.99 item, she will actually go on the sold list and see what it sells for to see if it's worth her spending $4.99 to what she can spend. You know, is it a $15 item or a $45 item or a $3,000 item? And I just look at the listing prices, and I tend to go for volume items, lots of dishes, teapots, cups, not so much cups.
Yeah, we've kind of strayed away from coffee cups.
Things come in, they go in waves. Like Starbucks, like a year and a half ago, was crazy hot. And now you can't give that stuff away. So,
yeah.
So
even Ray Dunn, I have a lot of Ray Dunn mugs I'm just going to put out for free on my lawn.
Yeah, Ray Dunn was really hot about 2 years ago, because actually when I met her, she was saying, look for the big fat M on the back and whatever.
There are still certain Ray Dunns that can go for a lot of money, especially the early edition items.
And that's not to say anything against, Magenta or Ray Dunn, but it's not one of those things that floats my boat. I like the obscure stuff.
It's just
Danish
turning into
stuff from Denmark and Finland and from Germany and weird stuff. But over time, I guess you figure out, like this morning, I went to the Goodwill Pittsfield before I got here, and there was another guy who sells T-shirts. Jake, he's on North Street in Pittsfield. And he was there shopping for shirts and clothes, and we prop each other up. He's doing good, we're doing good. Everybody supports each other. All the cashiers know us. Would you like a receipt with that? We're like, of course.
And don't forget, if you're over 55 or 55 and older, at Goodwill you get 15% off on Wednesdays in our area. That would be the Pittsfield, North Adams, Bennington, Vermont.
Oh wait, so my point was, so Lachelle is into like figurines, and figurines.
I love figurines.
Yeah, they kind of annoy me, but
I love like Joseph Originals.
I just can't. I have tons of clutter. She has way more than I do. But I said, you know what? I call it doing a Lachelle. Okay, so I try to make myself pick one thing or a couple of things that. What would Lachelle look like? What would she pick up? And so I picked up this one little random candlestick with a rabbit on it and a rabbit on the other side, and it was like $1.99, and it was posted at $30. So I'm like, the girl's got some sense here. She's got some mad skills with the figurine department.
But don't get me wrong, when I first started, I thought anything old was going to sell. I just thought that was the rule, so I picked up tons and tons of dishes, and they didn't sell. I ended up having a giant tag sale, and that's how I sold them, and basically just got my money back. But you learn over time, and every year something may not sell as good as last year. So if you find it, just list it.
Yeah,
I don't take my own advice.
And me neither. And I've seen a change in dish patterns and dishes. And what we realize, first and foremost, people are looking for name brand items. We're talking Williams-Sonoma, Pottery Barn, Pier 1, Spode, Noritake, Mikasa, Nippon. But funnily enough, a lot of stuff from Germany, like stuff you can't pronounce. It's like, the logo's like that big and whatever. It's very hard to look up and hard to get prices, and people just don't know enough about it. I picked up last year, a year and a half ago, an entire set of Czechoslovakian, just beautiful, beautiful dishes. It's my cat food bowls.
Some
much.
stuff sells, some doesn't.
No.
So really have to do your research. And I basically, I always look up on eBay to see what's sold. And that's how if I bought it for $10, and it sells for $35, and that's the average price for selling, I'll put it up for $35, just to get rid of it. I'm not going to put it up for crazy money and have it sit there.
Well, that's always the fun part, is like, across the board, when you see and you go on eBay itself and you search eBay for the exact item that you have, there's going to be a high price and a low price. And what makes somebody buy it from you? I don't know. They like your site better. You're better at shipping. Nothing breaks.
Or they might be closer to you and they're going to get a better shipping cost. I've had a lot of people email me and say, can you lower your shipping cost? I'm like, sure, let me see what your zip code is. And turns out they're like from California or Arizona or Texas.
Middle of nowhere, Colorado.
Where it's very expensive right now to ship to those areas. But I do still send to those areas. Guess it doesn't come on here.
I had a German one today. I had a German butter dish that was produced prior to 1940.
Beautiful butter dish.
45 Villeroy and Bach. I'd never seen it before when I saw the pictures. This was 2 weeks ago at an estate sale. I thought it was Italian. I'm like, I would have gone right by that. I bought it. It was, it was not severely damaged, but nicks and bumps. But
do you have a picture of that on your phone?
Probably. But it was worth buying because the research put it prior to 1945, and I further narrowed it down to 1847 to 1867. So for dishes to last that long through a war, and the person who bought it was actually in Dresden, Germany, where it was made.
Crazy, isn't it?
And then she complained about the shipping.
Well, overseas shipping is very expensive.
So don't be afraid of eBay International, because how it works is, so say we're in Massachusetts and eBay has international hubs all over the place. There's one in Indianapolis, I know for sure.
There's one in Illinois.
I think there's one in like Illinois. And
they have hubs everywhere.
Everywhere. So what we get charged for shipping is the cost of the package to go to the hub. We have no idea what they're paying from the hub to Germany or to London.
Right.
On average, I would guess, just by weight, something lightweight, 2 pounds or more, it's going to be about $100.
Yeah, it's pretty
Easily.
Expensive. I've had lots of international sales.
I've had a couple inquiries, wallpaper wanting to go to Colombia, South America.
You have, if you're not a reseller yet, you'll understand once you start doing it that it's crazy beans, because there's just so many different things that happen. But don't be afraid of it. Embrace it.
Yeah. What else?
Where are you from?
Oh, I was originally born in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Lived in Lee my whole life, and then I left when I was 18. Lived in Africa a couple of times, all over the place. North Carolina, Virginia, and then lived in California for 40 years. And then I was a home health nurse, and I just couldn't get around in Los Angeles. Couldn't park the car. I was just miserable. So I said, I got to get out of LA. The riots, the fires, the earthquakes, no parking. So
she came home.
I saw a listing on Zillow or something. I needed a house with a rental, land, and a babbling brook, and I found all of it in Beckett. So, been there ever since. So I use the eBay. I'm retired, so it's extra income for me, and it's great. Depending on how much work you put into it. Like I've gone a month without listing anything, and it reflects in when you get paid for stuff. The algorithms are made like the more you put in to your site, the more you list, the more you interact.
And you don't necessarily have to list to change that algorithm. You can end listings and sell similar, which actually turns those listings into new listings. If you start changing prices,
Pictures.
any activity on eBay, on your eBay store, changes that algorithm. So that's also a key thing. But yeah, I try to do something on there every day.
Let's talk about the highs and lows throughout the year, like summer months, winter months. When there's
Summer's tough.
There's actually situational lows in eBay. We experience it here. A lot of people have chimed in with Lachelle that there's just no sales happening. So when you think about it, it's usually, what was it, July?
June,
July, and part of August.
Mostly July and August.
And we chalk that up to the kids being home for the summer, or parents having to pay for summer camp, or they're going camping, so they're just not buying anything. But once August clears,
actually the last week, I made enough sales to reflect a month's worth of sales. So I did really well last week. But I think a lot of people they're going back to school and
school clothes, shoes, uniforms.
It's just it's a mixture of things that I sell. I sell pretty much anything and everything. And Sarah's a little more specific with her sales.
I'm getting to the everything department, with the little figurine I got today. I'm like, she might have something here.
I love figurines.
And it's the weirdest thing for me is because the one I would pick would be like the one thing I would never pick, and it was like worth way more money to someone than if I'd have walked past it. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting.
Sarah will bypass something because it doesn't interest her.
Right.
And I'll pick it up and she'll be like, oh gosh, that's ugly. And I'm like, well, it's not my style, but I know it's a seller.
Yeah, that's the difference.
So I'll sell it.
That's the difference. And I think if you go, and I mentioned the crazy lamp lady, is like she buys a lot of stuff, but she buys a lot of stuff she likes too.
She does.
She does, but she's been on the
But she also spends some pretty big money when she
shops a lot.
She shops a lot.
All the time.
Yeah.
We can't shop all the time.
I actually watch the Commonwealth Picker mostly now. I used to never watch him. I don't know why I didn't, but he seems to pick up more things that I pick up, and it's more interesting to me. So, Kevin with the Commonwealth Picker, shout out to ya.
Kevin?
Love watching Kevin.
Go Kevin.
I do. I like to watch the Crazy Lamp Lady. Who else do you like to watch? I can't seem to watch ADH Dave. I'm sorry, Dave. I watch some videos, but you got to hone in onto what you're buying, because he picks up stuff that's not even great sales, and then he gets some really wonderful sales. So, but I definitely watch Commonwealth Picker. Oh, shout out to. I don't know who just gave us a thumbs down, but I'm sorry. You can proceed. The homeschool.
Wait, we got a thumbs down?
I think it was a thumbs down. I don't know why.
Bummer.
Why did we get a thumbs down?
Not enough cleavage?
Well, I could take my shirt off, but I won't. I think not.
Look, if you're not having fun doing this stuff, you shouldn't be doing it.
Seriously. Making your own hours, getting to do lives, and we're bringing our personal lives into this, and our great personalities.
And you know what? I've met so many people at the Goodwill. And
I have to finish.
Oh.
The homeschooling picker, and the part-time picker, Nurse Flipper. I love them all. I do watch the Nurse Flipper Tuesday night broadcast. She's great. And yeah, she has different hosts every week.
Well, that's the thing. eBay's not for everybody. I bumped into somebody that wants to do eBay, but she seems already overwhelmed. We do get overwhelmed. We get overwhelmed by the stuff that we have already. But we're always like, what if we don't go out there and buy some more stuff? We might miss the $1 million holy grail. I have a holy grail.
If we didn't go to the Adams townwide sale.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was the best this year.
The best.
And the church sale was not so much.
I gave up on the church sale.
But I love going there. That's my Christmas. But
the townwide was awesome.
Hey,
so,
Kim, thanks for watching.
Hey, Kim. So the townwide, Lachelle drove with her 82-year-old dad. I sat in the back, which was great. And then she says, "You got to be hustling," and she was not kidding. We must have done how many? 40
or 50.
40 or 50.
There were 65 tag sales. I think we hit 55 of them.
We did most of them. In fact, I ran out of money and had to borrow $20 from her dad. But, you know, by the time you hit noon, everything was half price or practically giving it away. And I came up on a set of dishes that were, what were they? Spode? No, they were something from Germany. They were Spode, and they were from the 1800s. So, and I paid
right.
And I paid $20 for like a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, so for me, I can spot that stuff like I can spot a watercolor, you know? So,
yeah, we found some incredible stuff.
Incredible artwork, just incredible knickknacks, lovely people. And, you know, eBay's not just a singular kind of thing. It's like you bump into people, you share your knowledge. They're very appreciative. And it's fun. You just sometimes it's the only way that it gets both of us out of the house, not together, sometimes together. Like today we're going to the Goodwill North Adams because they love us there and we love their stuff. Their prices are great. Some Goodwills are different price points and they operate differently within different
But we love
managements.
North Adams.
We love
North Adams is the best.
Is the best. Great Barrington's good, limited, and Lee, sometimes you can pick up some great stuff in Lee.
Great Barrington's great if you're looking for clothes. Clothes and shoes. I have found some amazing brand names down in Great Barrington.
Sarto.
Really good names.
Really, it's Italian. I got my Coach bag at Pittsfield for $10. A Murphy bag, red. $10.
As a matter of fact, I think when I met you,
maybe that's
when I found all of these vintage Fossil and Coach purses. I still haven't listed them. So there you go. I still haven't listed them. I have a huge inventory, huge, 1,500 square feet. Plus, it's leaked into my dining room, kitchen, and living room. And I have 75 bins outside. So my plan is to go through them, and I need to just decide what's eBayable or Etsy and what is tag sale. Because I know I have a lot of stuff in there that probably won't make the cut. So I'll just either give it away or donate it.
And to be honest, you never know what people are looking for. Like I think people on Etsy if you're looking for clothes, I would say Poshmark and Etsy.
Hey, Donna.
Hey, Donna. You know, clothes, Poshmark and Etsy, eBay's
Etsy, I do more
hardware.
I do more higher end stuff. I feel on
Etsy. They have a higher list price on Etsy. Poshmark is higher than Etsy.
Well, Poshmark, you're spending more fees.
Right.
I think it's 20%. To be honest, I stopped selling on Poshmark and Macari, and I strictly eBay and Etsy. Etsy's not that great for me with selling items. It's very slow.
I use them for checking prices.
Now I do use Flip to cross list.
But anyway, you know,
we won't get too crazy.
If it wasn't fun and something to get us out of the house, because it can be, you know, you can secure yourself in your house for weeks, never getting out of your pajamas. And just doing listings, and sales are still slow, and then you can drive yourself insane. So the shopping part for us is the communal aspect of it.
Shopping therapy is what I call it.
It's definitely therapy.
It is. When I take a break, that's what I do. I go shopping.
That's what we're doing.
Doesn't mean I have to buy it, but it just gets me out of the house.
More than likely, you're going to buy it.
Yeah, probably. Shut up, Sarah.
All right.
Sarah's my bestie. I have to say, she's been my best friend ever since.
When we met, then we went back to the Goodwill, the original in Pittsfield, and I had picked up some stuff. I don't know what it was, poppy trail or something. And I looked at it, and I had it in my cart, and I put it back on the shelf, and Michelle goes, "Look what I got!"
I found.
I put that back for you.
Yeah, she would always do that.
I didn't want it. The color scheme was wrong. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, she just doesn't get
Homer
it.
Laughlin is a tough one, but
yeah, but the poppy trail, if you get the right one, they're really, really cute.
Yeah, but I'm saying I've seen the trend because I have so many dishes and so many manufacturers of dishes that I've seen the trend already. Is like the stuff that's Europe is picking up a little bit. You're not so much Czechware, but Nippon. All the Japanese stuff
the Noritake
are watched a lot. Noritake, Mikasa. I've seen an uptrend in that at least through the last 2-3 weeks. So you just have to be patient and keep doing your job. I try to get up 5 a day. Yesterday I didn't do anything. I had to do domestic stuff, but sometimes you have to take that down break or you'll just go insane.
Yeah, it's hard to stop. But I'll tell you, she's the best in research. Mm-hmm. The best. When I can't find something, and I usually can find it, I just give it to her, and she.
Well, boom. I do the weird.
And she just doesn't. She takes it to, like, another whole level.
Yeah, a whole nother outline.
I mean, she'll tell me who made it, who sold the company to this company. I mean, she goes back to the very beginning.
Oh, and don't even get me on Spode because I swear to God, I had a set of dishes. That's what they were. They were Copeland dishes that I got in North Adams. And Copeland has so the Copeland family and the Spode family are so interconnected for like 400 years that you can't mention Copeland without mentioning Spode. But in this case, I found Copeland dishes where it was solely produced by Copeland. And that's why I said, Spode was nearby or he was on vacation. Because it was like this huge family thing. But, had you not put Spode in there, probably nobody would be looking at the dishes. If you just put Copeland. People don't know Copeland.
We went through this whole research, or she went through this whole research thing with me about West Virginian, pottery.
Oh.
Why did they make
why did they make pottery in West Virginia?
Why was so much pottery made in West Virginia, Lachelle? And I was like, oh, well, that's because they had
rivers,
a lot of labor. They had good transportation, and they were around water.
Yep.
Which those were the key things that all the West Virginian companies used.
I'm always interested, like, why didn't that company survive? Like,
what were we looking up?
Like, for instance, let me give you for instance. So we talk about Stangl pottery.
Hey, Michael.
Stangl, Stangl. You can see it from a mile away with the brown backs. Beautiful stuff, all hand painted, hand carved, but it just doesn't sell.
It doesn't. It moves like a Beanie Baby.
You better buy that because you want to feed your cat or dog on it or eat your pasta on it because it just reminds people of when they were kids. But the one reason why Stangl isn't so popular is like Stangl was it was produced well, but they never shipped west of the Mississippi. So it was a regional thing. So you either like it or you don't.
I still love Stangl. I love it. I see it and I'm like, I still buy it.
I buy it for myself.
But some of it is just amazing, especially the pink.
That's like that. Blue Ridge is the same way.
Blue Ridge. I think this is what we were talking about. Blue Ridge.
And like, what was it? John B. Taylor was the first big set I ever bought from 1942 in Great Barrington. I sold all of that because there was one guy on the West Coast that was a bigger collector than me. So why did John B. Taylor became Louisville Pottery that became Mary Alice Hadley, and Hadley was a designer and a painter for those two companies, and now that company's out of business. So
she's my Sarapedia.
Yeah, I'm also Sarah Uber, but Sarah.
She's mostly Sarapedia.
Yeah, I love looking up stuff just to find out what.
I'm like, hey Sarah, could do some research on this for me.
Well, that came into
She gives me the whole report,
okay.
Right down to the plastic cover.
So I came into those plates and I'm like, wait, well, I had to find out. I'm not going to list something from someone else's listing, sell similar, and their information is wrong. So I actually found the plates and dated them by the war. Like, the place that made these plates was bombed in 1945. So I know those plates were made prior to 1945.
Right, and that's the problem with people using similar when they're doing eBay listings. When you just sell similar, better make sure that that listing
Dad.
is exactly.
Your dad's on.
Oh, hey, Dad.
Hey, Ernie.
My dad is Ernie.
Yeah, sell similar is a feature. If you can find a similar, like selling like Hazel Atlas cups, you can sell similar You just have to add your own pictures and your own description.
But the
sometimes
problem
it's
is
wrong.
that they're wrong, and then 100 other people use the same description,
Yep.
and they're wrong. So
And-
do your research.
Yeah, and nobody likes to be corrected or given a lowball offer, but sometimes
You know what?
it really-
Trust me, I've had people on eBay send me emails saying, what your item's beautiful, but here's some more information on it, and I think you have your title wrong. And
That's-
I'm like, then I go do a little more research, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, they're right. So I have been much more diligent about researching before I actually post it or use Sell Similar.
Also, too, is because you send a set of dishes out, say Spode dishes, or people know Spode. They're not going to argue with Spode. It says Spode on it, but what if you get a dish
Oh, I have a piece down here.
that's not marked?
Let me grab it.
And I have some of those at home, and I'm like, oh, how do you
Let's
figure
see,
that
do I
out?
have a piece not marked?
Oh, yeah, she does have Spode underneath the table.
I do.
Anyway, so, if you give the wrong description and terrible pictures, you're going to get your item back, So
Here's the one piece.
it pays to do your upfront stuff. Just check your listings.
Here's a piece of Spode.
Classic Spode.
Got a big set of this.
Ivy or something. Yeah.
So cool
on
looking.
the bottom, look what it says. Copeland Spode.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
go right in.
So that's when Copeland Spode was together
Sorry.
after 1945.
Is it upside down?
No. Anyway, that's a newer stamp for them. Copeland impressed in the pottery makes it even older.
So I get a whole set of this, which I'm in the process of listing. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda.
I can't wait to list it. This should sell for what? $65, $45, $65.
Let me research that for you.
Yeah, will you research that for me?
So here. Yeah. So
I love her so much.
creamers and sugars, you get more money if you put them together, unless they're like phenomenally tricked out
Well, I
with
have
gold
I
and
have
enamel.
bowls and plates and many more of these. I can't wait to dig into that pile.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Oh, they're done mowing their lawn. I don't think they got the memo today that we were doing a live.
well, we're gonna do another live.
Absolutely.
Maybe
we're
at a
gonna
different time.
Yes, and we want to do questions and answers, and we'll probably do one more at 7:30 at night, so more people will be able to join and ask questions. And that's what we want. We want you guys to pick our brains, and we want to ask questions to you, the viewers.
Because you might have an item that we might want or covet, or
You never know. I mean,
we
I
might
get a
know
lot
more
of.
information about you, or you don't know what it is. There's a million places on Facebook right now.
If you're looking
know,
for something in particular, I get a lot of emails with that.
Right.
They're looking for specific items.
If you, especially in my category in the 1850s, people are like, if you find any more, let me know. And if you find this one, let me know. And if you find this one, let me know. And that becomes your holy grail list. I have a teapot I'm looking for that I'm still looking for it, but
Tell them what it is.
it's actually made by Spode. It's blue and white. I'm a blue and white freak, maybe. It's called Blue Kernel, and I'm looking for a teapot, specifically a teapot. So what I realized
She actually
was,
has a buyer waiting for her to
I
come
have
up
a
with
buyer.
one.
She, I have a. This is how crazy I can get. Anyway, so I know it was Spode because it's marked on the bottom. So I go online and I look it up, and Spode made dishes with completely white rims, no color, and they made them with gold rims. Okay, but Spode hardly ever made things with silver rims. So I look it up and I go, oh my God, this is not silver, this is platinum. Okay, so those dishes, dinner dishes, were listing between $85 and $100 a piece. Okay,
It's just crazy. And it's something, I'm not saying you can't find them. It'll be a hard find.
and what happened was, so I took it one step further. I couldn't find what I was looking for, so I contacted Spode in the UK.
This is what she does.
They have a customer service line. I send a picture, and you know what their response was? We've never seen that.
We've never seen that.
We don't know what that is. So where does that lead you? So then my brain, because I'm a mile a minute, that I have a feeling that piece of Spode was made for a particular company in a very narrow window in the 70s because my client was from the DC area. And I have a feeling that's where it came from. So to find a one particular or even more pieces of that pattern are like ludicrous. I mean, just like, that's my holy grail. So if you have a teapot, hit me back.
Hit her up. She's also, she has a page and it's Shelf Art.
Yeah, Shelf Art.
And you can also find her on eBay, Shelf Art.
I'm on Facebook too.
And I'm on eBay. You can find my website located right on my page. And I also want to say, if
There's
you
Scott.
Oh, hey Scott
And Marie.
and Marie,
Thanks for joining.
yeah, thanks for joining. We're almost wrapping up.
Yeah.
We're a little late.
We didn't think we could talk this long.
Oh, I told her we could talk for hours, so I'm sure. But we're definitely going to do this again.
We got stories.
May not be out on my back deck, but the weather's great right now.
Overcast.
Little overcast.
Yeah, a little humid, but we're
But
surviving.
we have stories. We have tons of stuff we want to talk to you about. Again, we want you to pick our brain, and we want to pick yours. If you have, any questions,
If you're
feel
looking for
free.
anything, we might have it.
If you want us to do a yard sale for you, hit us up.
Yeah, we do. We see so many people out in the world in their older years, in their 70s, 78, and they just don't know what to do with their stuff. I always recommend going for a living estate sale. Okay, and just the parameters are easy. That person who lives in that house and wants to sell their stuff while they're alive just leaves for the day, and then you run the estate sale, and they get the money. Otherwise, absolutely, your kids and your grandchildren
throw it away.
are not going to want your stuff.
They're
They
not.
don't want it. They're going to bulldoze your house, set it on fire, and burn it to the ground, and just hit it with a hammer. So
My kids already told me they're gonna have
get the money now.
30-yard dumpsters in the yard.
Yeah,
they're throwing it out.
We do that. We do the standard. But what we do is we go in and do it. We did an estate sale in Otis a year ago.
I think it was over a year ago.
Over a year ago, where another company did the first one and sold a lot of stuff, and then we came in behind them and sold $1,200 of stuff for them. So the guy, and then we found a renter for the guy's house. So
yeah, so
it was
we're willing to
amazing.
help you out if you're in that situation, and we don't even have to be in the house. We can bring it outside and have the estate sale on the yard.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're just going to be wrapping up soon. But again, we want to try to do this every week. And
we're going to try Zoom calling. When it gets to be winter and snowy.
They won't even know what we're using.
Oh, anyway, so
Sarah doesn't know the peripherals on all the details on how we connect, but
I'm just saying that we're going to go Zoom in the winter because we're 35 miles apart, and I don't drive in the dark.
Right, and some
snow.
people have asked us if we would do one later at night, and so I think that's probably best. And every once in a while, we'll just jump on, whether you're watching or not. You can watch us later. And I wanted to also thank every one of the people my followers on my page, all 1,800 of you plus.
Woo!
I'm hoping to jump that up.
I got 30.
I'm hoping to jump that up to 2,000 and more. So please share. Help me reach my goal. I'd appreciate that. So we're gonna call it quits for right now, but
we got to go shop.
we have things to do, people to see.
Yeah.
But we loved
news
joining with
spread.
you today.
Yes, thank you for coming.
We look forward to doing this again.
Friends.
What happened to your toodaloo?
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.